Hello there. A different kind of background sound today. It's uh, it's just firewood. Or on YouTube, you can uh, get it quite easily. The channel is called Fabos Planet. BOS Planet, and it's just fireplace. Uh, and the sound that it's making is just the sound of it burning. So I usually put like a spiritual music or something, but I saw that. I thought, well, that'll make a change today. But anyway, this is part 3 of my kundalini / spiritual awakening. It's my birthday today. I'm 35 today, and so I was just, I was due to do the part 3 of this, my kundalini / spiritual awakening. And yeah, and I've done 3 parts of this because, this is a very, very important experience that happened to me. And that's why I decided to make this part series of this, my kundalini / spiritual awakening. And as I've said in previous talks, in the last 1 and 2 parts, that the whole thing was unexpected. My spiritual awakening was a situation where I didn't know it was going to happen when it did. I wasn't into spiritual things. I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool and everything, but at 24, when it happened, the first big awakening, I was a very lost person. Any drug I could get, and very lost, very confused, very unhealed, harmless individual, but I needed help. And I sat down, it was the morning, I remember, and I've said this in the part 1, part 2, and I had enough, but the having enough was so powerful in that moment. It was like a few seconds, and I knew everything was going to change. I knew that I did something. I knew that the passion had called in something, whether you think it's within or out there. And then everything changed, and it's like I've heard Christians say that a lot of Christians and religious believers say that when you make that decision to call on the God, then that God leads the rest of the way. And that's basically what happened. And ever since, I've been like led, and I get new spiritual awakenings every other day. Every couple of days I get a new spiritual awakening. And the spiritual awakenings last about a day or two, and there's people out there that there's a thing called ayahuasca, and that can induce a spiritual awakening, but I get it without taking that. And it's like I say, it's every couple of days. Once I got the first big awakening, after that, it was new spiritual awakenings every other day. And the whole journey, I've said this before, and it's the spiritual awakening. When you get it, you're on the pathway of enlightenment. Enlightenment isn't a spiritual awakening. It's not a kundalini awakening. you get the spiritual awakening, and you get the kundalini awakening with the spiritual awakening. This is my experience I'm talking about. But that energies that you're experiencing was to show me what I could have in the future. But a lot of people out there think that enlightenment is like that type of experience. No, that doesn't make... I'm not enlightened yet. I'm not enlightened yet, even though I've been in the spiritual awakening path for 11 years. Enlightenment is what I'm reaching for, is what I'm heading towards. Enlightenment will be when I've fully aligned. You see, and I haven't done that yet. What I'm doing is I'm going through an inner healing pathway for 11 years now. But you get the awakening, or the what you think is the experience, and now you've been shown what you have to align with. This is the core essence, the true self. And now you're on a pathway of becoming that. You're becoming tantric awareness. Tantric awareness is the core essence of who you are. It is what you will find if you practice presence. If you do meditations that involve being present, you'll tap into it. The core essence of who we are is tantric awareness. And tantric awareness, the kundalini energy, or say a kundalini awakening, as I had at the start, that is tantric awareness, but you've got to align with it. You see? You've got all the block chi with, with it in you. You've got to heal and sort all that out, and that comes with the inner healing pathway. It's the oldest thing going, one of the oldest things, and going within, and no nootropic or anything that is out there can replace the inner work. And this consciousness, this energy that you're aligning with, it's a part of you. It's an energy body, and it's the spiritual body, spiritual self, and aligning with the physical self. And that's what you're on. The Kundalini awakening is just showing you what you can have. So that's why the energies go away, and then you're aligning with it, and then you notice that you're returning to that original Kundalini / spiritual awakening. You see? And that's what is going on. And so my journey is, yes, I'm on the pathway to enlightenment, but I'm not enlightened yet. You see? Because to become enlightened, I've got to go through this pathway. I've got to go through this healing pathway. I've got to have understanding of things. Right? It's about understanding and evolving and inner healing. And when you're healing, stuff within you. You're all the family problems, your blood family, you're healing all that within you. You're also healing stuff within your psyche from other lives you've had. Right? Traumas that are within the psyche. You're healing all that. And eventually you enter this tantric awareness. And that's basically what's happened to me all the time now. As I ascend and evolve, I notice this euphoric energy within my whole body just gets that little bit more, and a little bit more, a little bit more. And that's what enlightenment is. It's a journey of healing and ascension. You see? But I don't see a lot of people really explaining this. They talk about Kundalini this, Kundalini that, obsession with energy, but they don't really explain about enlightenment, about what it is, because The only people to listen to are those that have got the green or blue tick by God, and that the green tick is the spiritual awakening. If they've had a spiritual awakening, they're genuine. Because a spiritual awakening is a gift from God. Like in that, when I was 24, I said, I had enough. Right, you're going to get the awakening now. You've proved yourself to me. So the people that have had the awakenings have proven themselves. The spiritual awakenings. And that's the people to listen to. You know, people talk 144,000, whether you believe it's that number, that's the people I'm talking about. Right? Those that have had the spiritual awakenings or are currently going through spiritual awakenings. And it's not a lot. But as I was saying, going back to what I was saying, it's a journey of enlightenment. You know, an awakening, a spiritual awakening does not make you an enlightened being. I'm not enlightened yet, as I keep repeating on this talk, but I'm on the pathway to that. Now, this pathway, it may take my whole life. I might be a very old man by the time, or if I reach that. I don't know. 11:11, as I just said that. You know, that's interesting. But, you know, that's what it is. You first get the spiritual awakening. What happened to me was, I've said in the part 1, part 2, is it a spiritual awakening, but there was also a rebirth that happened. Not just, I don't mean that as a metaphor, a real literal rebirth. I was taken back to the womb. I was getting downloads telling me that this was happening. At that time, very crazy. I couldn't look at anyone in the eye anymore as if you were in the womb or you were a bit, you know, it was like that. I couldn't, it was like returning to that state of consciousness of being in the womb again. Very strange. And maybe this had to happen because, you know, if you're now going to go in the pathway to enlightenment, maybe I had to go back to the womb because when a baby is there, traumas can actually manifest from that experience. That's the thing. Yeah, that can happen. Traumas has manifested for a lot of people by being in the womb. You know, because it's such a delicate time, right? And so anything that goes wrong, the mother might have not done anything wrong, but to the child it's so sensitive in that time. So that could be the reason. I'm just guessing, but you know, I don't actually know for sure, but I think maybe that was the reason. You know, as like a healing thing, taking you back to the start. You got a lot of traumas. Let's take you back to where the traumas were, and then we'll restart everything. You see. But just before I end this talk, yeah. So regarding the spiritual awakening, if you're going through that, you're not enlightened yet. You're on the pathway to enlightenment. You're on the pathway of aligning with your tantric awareness, energy, body, right? And that is peaceful, tranquil. It's done a lot of healing. It's healed itself. It is orgasmic, euphoric, ecstasy. You know, and I'm just imagine bliss, you know, but it's bliss because it has transcended from inner healing, transcended itself and ascended. So this is the pathway to enlightenment, and I've really explained this on this talk. And I feel that that's important because a lot of people don't mention that. They talk a lot about energy and stuff and kundalini, but they don't really explain the pathway of enlightenment. And that is related to your spiritual awakening that you're if you listening, watching this, are going through. That's what you're on. You're on an enlightenment journey of returning to who you truly are, your core essence. But I'm just going to leave it there. For latest updates, talks, news, research, and much, much more, please do visit my website at www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.